Are you tired of being that person when asked about your hobbies? What are your hobbies? Oh, Netflix, eating, sleeping, maybe going to coffee shops? Help me. I've got you. So in this video, I'll introduce you to 14 hobbies that will skyrocket your confidence and turn you into a great conversation starter. So in order to make this really clear for you and to follow along in the video, I have categorized the hobbies in 3 different chapters: physical, social, creative hobbies. And all the hobbies I'm going to talk to you about in this video will help you to increase your confidence. Dancing is a hobby where you can really build your own confidence. You can really build your connection with your body. And especially if you struggle with body confidence, dancing can be a great way to really get in tune with your body, really get in touch with your body, feel your body, and improve that relationship with your body. First of all, it's really important, especially if you're a woman, if you're in your 30s like me, that you start your strength training, because the older we get, the more muscle mass we lose. So we really want to keep our muscle mass, and strength training is super important with that. But this doesn't really sound fun. This doesn't really sound like, oh, this can be my hobby. Strength training can be kind of boring, especially if you just do lifting in the gym all by yourself. The way I like to do it, and that's why it's really a hobby of mine, is by doing boot camp. So I join like strength training groups that are here in Berlin, for example, like workout groups, and they do strength training in different places in Berlin, and you can just book a slot, and there are like always different people. You can make friends, and we just do different workouts. Every instructor has their own music that they like to play. Sometimes it's hip hop, sometimes it's techno, whatever they like, and it's like always a really fun way to exercise and to get your strength training in. It's really a hobby of mine that I have created, and I used to hate running. Honestly, running was like the worst for me, and now it's actually my hobby. Like, I actually love doing it. I don't want to become a professional runner or anything. I genuinely just love and enjoy running and moving my body. You can join running clubs, you can make it more social, you can meet people, you can have a running buddy. You can also just, what I love to do is just listen to podcasts while I'm running, and I really like wait for my favorite podcast when I go on a run. There are so many hiking groups that you can join. This is a great way to meet people. You can like go outside the city, go on hikes, go with people together. I would probably do this with people and not so much alone. And it's just a great way to be in nature. The next category is social hobbies. Here is my absolute favorite hobby that I've ever done. Or improv class. Improv is like a little bit different to acting class. Acting class, you're working more towards camera presence, or maybe you're doing a play. Improv is more immediate. You have to think on your feet. You have to really like challenge yourself. It really drives you outside of your comfort zone. I made great friendships when I was in acting class. People in acting class are normally super nice, they're super down to earth, and it's just a really great way to connect and meet people, make friends, and also challenge yourself. You can just be a different person and like be really creative and really let go of everything. And that's why acting or improv classes, I would definitely recommend you doing that, especially if you maybe struggle a little bit with social interactions and this is something that is really uncomfortable for you. This will really help you to just be yourself, be authentic, because you just have to get out of your own head. You just have to do it without overthinking. This is not necessarily a hobby for me because I'm not a good singer and I'm also not good at making music. But if you are someone who actually enjoys singing or who plays an instrument, find a band. Find people you can like jam with. Put out something on social media and Facebook groups to meet people, to find people. Have a little goal of maybe having a gig together. Being on stage, having maybe a gig somewhere, that will so increase your confidence, because how you gain confidence is by getting out of your comfort zone and doing things you haven't done before and building that evidence that you can actually do it. So maybe it's something that you can do for homeless people. Maybe you are into animals and you can volunteer at a shelter or support your local cat charity. Knutschi Patch. Knutschi Patch. My cats will always be my hobby. And the next one is learn a language without any pressure, without needing to be at a certain level at a certain time, just for fun. Choose a language that you maybe always wanted to learn. For me, it would be French, and then join a class. I wouldn't do it online all by yourself. I would literally join a physical class or get a tandem partner. It's a social activity. You want to meet people, you maybe want to make friends with people who have the same goal as you, and you also immediately do something for your brain. That will give you confidence. Becoming better is something something without like the pressure of a job, for example, or making money or turning this into a business, that will make you confident when you see your progress. And now the third category is creative hobbies. That is a fantastic hobby where you can just relax, where you can just really let go of the day. You can be creative with recipes, you can try new things, you can come up with ideas, try and make healthier versions of things that you already like. This can also be a social hobby where you join photography groups, for example. If you will look at Meetup is probably, I think, in every country. It's a website, it's also an app, and there you have different people who have different interests, who have different hobbies, and then you can connect with those people. And going out, taking photos or taking video, maybe creating content if this is something you're interested in, that will make you confident. Anything that helps you to create a skill and become better at something, that will again boost your confidence. And fashion design could also be something like knitting or screen printing, things like that. Everything that has to do with clothes, fabric, fashion. I've done a sewing class once, and again, it was a great way to first of all meet people. It's always a great experience when you create something out of nothing, which you will do in a sewing class because you will have some fabric and then suddenly you have a dress. And it's a great way for self-expression because you decide on your own fabrics, for example. Maybe you can even decide on your own design. And I would always start with an actual physical class. First of all, you really have the incentive of going there, because if you just do it online or with YouTube videos, you might not have the incentive to stay actually consistent with it, because when you start a new hobby, you might have to get into it a little bit at first and create that consistency. So that's why it's always good to connect with a group on Meetup. The next creative hobby is writing and blogging. Not for creating a business, but just for enjoyment. And you don't even have to write a blog. You can also just write for yourself. Maybe you can plan to write a book and self-publish a book without any pressure of this being anything. If you enjoy writing, find ways to sit down and do it and write. What I feel like is important, even with a hobby, is to have some sort of goal. The next one is gardening and plants. And I actually wish this would be something that I would want to do, but I'm not so into like caring so much for plants. For example, a friend of mine, she's really into plants, like it's her thing. She actually thought about volunteering in a plant shop just because she loves it so much. And she gives me tips, but my plants, I don't know, it's not happening. But if you have a garden, for example, then gardening could be something that first of all is super relaxing and also really rewarding, because you can literally plant your own vegetables, you can plant your own herbs, you can plant your own flowers. Especially when it comes to furniture, so DIYing your furniture. And this is something that you do with your hands. I think especially when it comes to creative hobbies like sewing or working with plants, it's always like good, or cooking, baking, it's always good to do something with your hands, because we oftentimes really use our hands that much. And I think it's such a great way to touch things and to really like get involved in something and then create something. So rewarding, and I think that can really build your confidence. Like you create something and it's maybe not that great, especially when you're new to something like cooking, baking, doing your DIY furniture, maybe sewing, and it doesn't really look amazing. That's not the point of a hobby. The point of the hobby is not that it's perfect. That's why it is confident building, because you develop a growth mindset. You develop the mindset of improvement, of getting better, and just make it fun. That's the most important thing. As soon as a hobby is not fun anymore and you have pressure to like make it good, then that's defeating the purpose of a hobby. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like it, subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I speak to you soon. Bye!